In this week's rental car review, we have a 2025 Ford Escape. And right away, you can see the LED flickering on the headlight. So let's backtrack on this vehicle as I stand in the dirt in this Costco parking lot. This vehicle, being a Ford, for those of you who know me, know that I have a 95 town car, vintage town car, and I have an 07 Ford Mustang GT500. I used to be a die-hard Ford fan, and then somewhere around probably the mid 2010s, I kind of moved away. Call me old school, whatever, but I used to love the Expeditions, love the Panthers, all of that. The Explorers and the Mountaineers up until 2010 when they were big and boxy and optional V8. Yes, lecture me all you want about EcoBoost and all that. I just don't want my big SUV sounding like an electric Razor. Just give me a low revving V8 anytime. Anyway, I'm digressing. So that being said, I've been turned off from Ford for quite some time. And there's some products I do still like. The Mustang, of course, the Ford Edge, in the later 2000s, later 2000s into 2010s, I liked certain things. The Escape was one that I used to really like. When in its original form, it looked like a miniature Expedition or Explorer. Like it had that squared off shape, it was handsome, and the last few rounds of that version, they made it kind of modern looking, even though it was squared off. There are vehicles today in 2025 that are squared off that look good. Jeep Wrangler, the Bronco's a cool vehicle, I gotta say. Something like the 4Runner, like they have that squared look to them, and they don't look dated. So when the Escape had its first major really redesign, and they went kind of that rounded, it was still kind of an SUV, if you will. I didn't really like it, and then I kind of frankly lost track of what an Escape looked like until I walked into Enterprise this week and was handed the keys to this. This is not an SUV. I wouldn't even say that this is a crossover. It's almost like a hatch. It's like a four-door hatchback. It almost would be a reminder of the four-door hatchback Focus in a way. I mean, this has that kind of form factor. So I was kind of put off, right? And then I walked up to it and I was like, that's an Escape? Oh my gosh. And maybe they just blend in with every other appliance looking vehicle on the road today. So that's why I didn't take notice. All right, so I just hammered this thing for a few minutes. So let's take a look at the outside here. So the front still has that ovoid, whatever you want to call it, grill that, kind of stemmed from the Mustangs, that's supposed to be that wide, aggressive grill, GT500 looking, that kind of carried on into the design language and still carry forward into 2025 here. So when I really break it down and kind of look at it, actually not bad looking. I don't like the fake, whatever these things are. It's a fake. I don't like whatever that is. Just don't do that. Just don't. Like, are there sensors or cameras or something in there? Just don't do it. It looks ugly. Just put it under, if it is housing anything, just put it under the license plate. The wheels, I actually don't mind the wheels at all. Don't mind them all, not bad. So this model is more or less the base model, whatever the designation for that is. So it is an Escape Active. Active makes me feel sporty. I got something to say about that. All-wheel drive. So I guess the Active is the cheap brand. It has dual exhaust, and gloves. I don't know if it has the, I know they were the ones that first started out with put your foot under the rear gate. Rear end, not bad looking. I think it has a stupid name though, Active. Rear's not bad looking. And when I really got over the fact that this was an Escape and just pretended, oh, just forget what the name is, just take a look at it objectively, I actually thought, not bad, not bad. They just affixated the Escape name to this. So I'm guessing, in terms of an SUV slash crossover for that size, I'm guessing the Edge kind of has taken its place. Okay, so I started out really harsh with this, and my commentary got progressively better. So let's go inside and see if that continues or gets worse. So we're gonna get inside, and the door laid out quite nicely. I actually like these controls. These are very nice, easy to use. The steering wheel, and I've vented in other videos about the shape of the steering wheels. I'm just never a fan of the triangle wedge shaped steering wheel. I'm more of a 4-spoke guy. I just think automakers copy each other all the time. I'll start it up. I hate when Ford went to this sound, Chime, like a number of years back. It's just, I hate it. I don't know why, I just hate it. I think I can tell you why I hate it, because it was around the time Ford started changing the vehicles, you know, away from what was in the 90s and the early 2000s and the designs and whatnot, and they changed the Chime. So I'm just associating the Chime with that change, probably. All right, so this vehicle has just under 12,000 miles on it, so it's relatively new. Let's start with the gauges here, okay? When I do have it in gear, it's just a clear digital readout right in the center, which is so easy to use. Good job there. And it's not overly gimmicked up with all this unnecessary information. However, the criticism here is the fuel level. How do you read that? Like what? I guess that thick white thing at the top is where I don't know. Or is this right there, that line on the side, is that like where the level is? I don't know. Wow, close up of my fingers there, that's nice. So here's what I mean about the speedometer. Really, I like it. Very basic, plain Jane. I'm sure if this was a higher end version, there'd be more stuff, right? There'd be more stuff to look at, which I like simple. And then you have, back out here, and then you have the temp gauge. Cool. Temperature, distance to empty. Good job, Ford. All right, so the steering wheel, I know that's a personal choice. It's not, whatever, you know, okay. I talked about it in every video that has a steering wheel shaped this way. I'm gonna get critical for a second, and then I'm gonna redeem everything. Here's the floating screen again. I cannot stand floating screens. They seem like such an afterthought. They're a distraction. They take away from the look of the dashboard. It's like, I think they have it backwards, meaning in the early days of having screens, when cars started putting them in here, I could understand them, quote unquote, tacking them on, or just like, okay, we have the existing design where we're going to fit a screen, we'll just stick it here. I get it. And that's what this looks like. Why not integrate it into the dashboard so it's not like sticking up as a distraction? It's just annoying. I hate it. Now, the functionality of the screen itself is great. No issue with that. It's the location that I dislike. All right. What I do like very, very much is the redundant controls. A little pocket there. I have some stuff there. Cup holders. And then, so really nice job by Ford. Very, very intuitive, very simple and easy to use. Simple and easy, especially when you hop in a rental car and you just want to go. Very easy. The phone connection took 2 seconds. I hate cars that you got to spend 10 minutes figuring it out. That was really easy. And I love the shape of this dashboard and the HVAC vents. Love it. It is very old school, traditional. This is a rounded vehicle, but they didn't try to like make everything super rounded and ugly. They have a actual squared off dashboard. Like it's great. And it's a horizontal HVAC vent. I know for the longest time Ford, and maybe they still do, I guess the perpendicular, the up and down kind, you know, and I like this better because it's wider. And then I know Ford did the round ones for a while. Like my Mustang has them, our Expedition has them, or 2014 last of the V8 Expedition has the round, which I think are super cool. But the rectangular ones just remind me of my Grand Marquis from the 80s. Just awesome. Really nice job there. Then we get down to the center console. No real issue there. The only kind of like question I have is, so I have no problem with automakers going to like the rotary dial for this, no problem. However, to me, the whole point of it is to save space, right? So why not mount that on the dashboard, much like Jeep does, and give this space back to the driver? Have another compartment here, or a slot for your another slot for your cell phone, or whatever the case may be. I don't understand why they moved away from the shifter if they're just going to leave it here. I would rather have the shifter in that case, because it still takes up the same amount of space, and it makes you feel sporty. I'm sporty. You can have your sporty shifter grip feel back. I don't know. I don't know why they did that. Maybe it was just a cost thing. They said, okay, well, we would have to redesign the dashboard. Where would we actually put that? So I can maybe understand that. What else? This is the cheap interior, but it actually is pretty handsome, and it doesn't feel cheap. And I like the stitching in it. It gives it a higher class look. So nice job by Ford there. And then rear space. This has nice amount of space in the back seat. It really, really does. So you can fit 4 people in this vehicle and not crush them. So let's take a look in the trunk. So it involves me getting out of the vehicle. Ooh, those chimes. All right, so this has decent space. I have a full-size suitcase. It easily fit in there. Seats fold down, and it's a rental vehicle, so there's probably scuffs from people's suitcases there, but I'm sure that can come out. And this stuff that you see in the camera here, it actually looks way worse in the camera compared to real life. It's just a house hitting the colors. Like, I barely see it with my eyes. The camera, like, it really picks up everything. This is barely even noticeable by the naked eye, but on camera. So decent space there. You got your access to your tire. Ooh, they have an air compressor back there. That's what that looks like. That's cool. I think that's what that is. So good job. So I should imagine the more upscale Escapes probably have some more options in them that make these even a little bit nicer. You know, you get your typical sunglass holder, etc. So okay, so what's the verdict on this? The verdict is I judged a book by its cover. And when I, in my mind, thought I knew what an Escape was these days and walked up and saw this, I was like, what is going on here? This looks like a larger 4-door Focus from the 90s. But the minute I got in it and I saw the interior, I said, I have to eat crow. I like this vehicle. It drives pretty nice, easy in and out, easy to control, easy to see out of. So my verdict is
I recommend this vehicle. Objectively, it is not bad looking. Inside and out, it drives pretty nice. Controls are laid out well. And yeah, I just have to get over the branding being off in my head in terms of what I used to think an Escape is to what it is today. I do think that this should have been probably named something else, but they're not going to drop the Escape line, the brand name. So there you have it. I recommend this as a rental. I recommend it as a vehicle. Now, I don't know what Ford's deal is on reliability. How would this hold up after 50,000 miles, 100,000 miles, and anything further? I don't know, and only time would tell. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you have one of these? Are you shopping for one of these? If you are, I hope this video was helpful. I was trying to be objective and just kind of unpolished, unbiased, but here you go. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think. Comment, like, and subscribe.